Communication. History has a funny way of repeating itself. A huge example of how history repeats itself over time is technology. Technology has grown since the Middle Ages, but it hasn't changed much. We still use it to communicate with people all over the world. People have the need to communicate. They have it ever since they learned to talk. That's what has been driving technology to evolve, so that we may find new and easier ways to communicate. First, we have the telegram, invented by Harrison Dyer in 1828, but Samuel Morse was the real guy who helped evolve telegrams into what they are today. The updated telegrams were sent across wires called telegraphs, and could even be sent across the Atlantic Ocean. That was the first real way you could talk to people over far. Teleprinters are what were used to type the messages. It was just like a typewriter, but without the paper. As the world continues to change, the way we communicate changes as well. Within 8 years of the invention of the telegram, Morse code came about. In 1836, Samuel Morse created a whole new way to communicate. Surprisingly, it was by taps and pauses. It was a code that became increasingly popular with troops in war, because not only did the enemy not know it, but it was an easy way to talk to people on the other side of the world. In 1966, Jeremiah Denton was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. In Vietnam, they would have the prisoners of war talk on a TV interview. When Denton would talk, he would blink his eyes to spell out torture in Morse code. Over 100 years later, email was invented. Like the telegram, it is a written message sent. The only difference between the two is that an email is sent between two computers. In the early 70s, Ray Tomlinson thought of the nifty idea to send letters to people anywhere in the world instantly. The first email sent was QWERTY UIOP. This is the topper of the keyboard. This has become increasingly popular to the point that people use it daily for work, school, and talking to their best friend who lives in another country. In 2010, 294 million emails were sent daily. Lastly, we have the cell phone. It is a smaller version of the first telephone that Alexander Graham Bell invented in 1875. Although the phone has been around for a long time, the idea of having one in your pocket was not. In 2007, Steve Jobs invented the iPhone. It was an easier and much faster way to communicate. Today, this cell phone can not only call and text, you can email, play games, surf the internet, and much more. With this, you can contact anyone, anytime, anywhere. With all the people in the world, we all want to talk to each other. May that be to tell people that you're being tortured, or that you just want to say hello. People have been trying for years to make that as simple as possible. So we can only conclude that technology is one in 100 other examples of how history repeats itself. Yes, technology has evolved, but it has always been about the same thing: the need and desire to communicate.